Very often at an interview, your interviewer always asks you, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Yeah, this is the moment we all freeze, where we cannot answer. What do they actually mean when they ask you, what is your strength? Is it like a protein powder or something that you're having? Or is it your parents that they are talking about? What about weakness? What do they mean by a weakness? Is it my craving for ice cream the whole time? So hi everybody and welcome back to Guide to Aviation. For everybody who is the first time viewer to my channel, my name is Drynette Fernandez, an ex-cabin crew with an international airline and currently an aviation trainer. Been in the industry for close to 2 decades. So on today's session, I would be explaining to you what are strengths, weakness, what is an interviewer expecting from an answer from you when this question is put forward to you. I would suggest you write them down, or you could also save the video. Or there's an easier way, you can also subscribe to my channel, and when you're subscribing to the channel, don't forget to press the notification bell so you get updates on all the latest videos that are coming in future. And also you can just pull them up whenever you want to go for an interview. It's a quick glimpse for how to prepare yourself and be prepared for that interview. So welcome back to Guide to Aviation. Today's session, I would be explaining everything about your strength, your weakness, and also giving you a few tips on some of the probable questions that an interviewer would ask you. So before we could go deeply into this question, there is always a common misconception about the whole term of your strength. Very often in my classes, when I initially go into the class, the first thing I would ask them is to introduce themselves because I'd like to know what they understand about strengths and weaknesses. But an error always comes out. I know your intentions are good when you say it, because when you ask certain people, or when you commonly ask the question, what is your strength? Sometimes they say it's their father, it's their mother, or maybe their brother, or maybe some person, like an individual. Let me correct that for you right at the beginning before we could go in depth about this topic. When you're speaking about an individual, it's always your role model. They can be your support. They can be people who are there to back you up, but it is never your strength. That individual is not your strength. Your strength is a quality that you have, that is the best quality within you. Always keep that in mind before you could prepare yourself when this question is asked to you. Coming to weakness as well, it is not about what you like to eat, whether your eating habit is a weakness, or you have a weakness for clothes, shoes. No, that's not it. So continue watching as I give you an in-depth explanation to this topic. Your strength is what would add value to a company. So when a company is recruiting you, they are investing a lot in you. There's a lot of their time, there's a lot of their money. So when a recruiter is hiring you into their company, they want to know exactly what would you be ready to offer to the company. What is the value that you're bringing to the company? Often what happens is, when you go for an interview, there's a thought in your mind that you're going only for the post, for the position. Like say for example, you're going for an airline interview, you just want to be a cabin crew, it's just the post. Or maybe if it is for an IT company, it's just the post of a manager. Don't keep that in mind, because for you, the thoughts that would be in your mind would probably be like, okay, I'll join this company here. Later on, I would move to another company where I have more growth. But for an interviewer, when they are recruiting you, and if you have to be their choice, you have to make them understand that you're going to stay with them, that you're going to stick with them. Besides that you are going to bring the best of your ability to that company. Always keep that in mind when this question is asked you. So how can we do it? So how can you bring in your best abilities to a recruiter? I could give you a few examples of what you could use to impress that interviewer. Always keep in mind that you're not the only candidate that they are interviewing on that particular day, or maybe through those days they would have thousands of candidates. But the way you present yourself should be outstanding, where they can pick you as one of the best that could suit that particular role. So here are some of the examples that you could use. I would always suggest, when you're expressing your strengths and weaknesses, I have a way in saying it in a sentence. You can say the word and also why do you think that is your strength? Let's start with adaptability. Okay? Now, adaptability. Now, this is one word that can be used either in an aviation field or maybe hospitality or even other segments that you go for an interview. You can use this one word, adaptability. Because when you are a person who's adaptable, it's that you're coming from your comfort zone, you're stepping out from there, and you're showing your worthiness in the spot or in the position that a company is putting you at. That shows that you are ready to professionally work with a different set of people, with a new set of people, and you're also ready to accept feedback. That is very important while you're attending interviews, to make them understand, to make your interviewers understand that you're ready for feedback. Another word that you could use is trustworthy. So when a particular task is given to you, the company has complete surety that you would complete the task within that given period of time, without having to be supervised or being watched over completely. By the word trustworthy, we also get the interviewer's attention that if there is any confidential information that is passed on to you, that they are sure that you wouldn't be leaking out those confidential information, that you are completely dedicated to the company that you're working in. That gives them one huge step to recruiting you as their perfect candidate for that company. Another word you can use is a collaborator. A collaborator can also, another word that comes along with it is a team player. That you are good at working among a group of people, you're a good listener, you listen to each and every person's opinion. It's just that you are not monopolizing the show, that you listen and you take feedback from your other team members as well. You fit quickly into a team and you value other people's opinion as well. So that is another word you can use, collaborator. Always make sure you read your job description in detail. The qualities that a company is looking forward when they are recruiting, those qualities would be there in their job description itself. You analyze whether you fit into the job, whether those are the qualities that you possess. Like, say for example, you can put it in a sentence. Like, say for example, you can say that you're a very flexible person who's adaptable, you have empathy in you, You could also mention that you're always calm during stressful situations. You always pay attention to details. You're a very confident person. You can use words as you're resilient, you're reliable. All these words gives the interviewer a comfort that if by any chance they recruit you, that the job that is assigned to you would be done to perfection. One thing that you need to keep in mind that these are positive words with very strong characteristics in it. So if you're going to use any of these words, I would suggest you sit back and realize which is the word that sinks in the best quality of you. Because you don't want to randomly bring a word in front of an interviewer where you have no idea what you're talking about. At the same time, when you're using these words, also give the interviewer an example of why you have chosen that word. So it makes them understand why you have chosen this particular quality. You convey to the interviewer that you are a positive person who believes that you only get from life what you are prepared to offer. Explain to them how through the years you have worked on building up these qualities that helps you to fit into that correct position in the particular company. A few other words that you could use is you're honest, you have self-awareness. These are some of the words and phrases that you could use when a question is asked to you. Explain about your strengths. Now let's come into our next question, your weakness. So what is your weakness? As I did start the session today, is it you eating chocolates? No, that's not your weakness. A weakness that you like to sleep in too much? Can be, yeah. So when a question is put forward to you, what is your weakness? Now we all have weaknesses. So at any point of time, do not say that I don't have a weakness. We are human. If we have a strength, we have a weakness as well. We are built to have weaknesses. So how do you put this across to an interviewer when they ask you, okay, tell me about your weakness now? Sometimes we like to be a little smart and say, like, I'm a workaholic, I'm a perfectionist. Do not say that. Your interviewer do not want to, that's like a put-off. It's like no. It's a big no there when you say you're a workaholic, because we all know that's a big lie. Yeah, perfectionist, yes, you can be a perfectionist, but let's not overly brag about what we are. We should always portray to them that you're a smart worker. You can do things within time frame. So let me explain to you some of the weakness and how we can explain that to an interviewer. An example that you can use is, I'm an introvert. You know what an introvert is, right? So put it with an example saying that I'm an introvert and I sometimes shy away when I'm in a huge crowd. Now when you're attending meetings or when you're in a group and then a question is put forward to you, you're an introvert, so you would take a step back when the question is asked, or you don't want to give your suggestions because you're just shy. Yeah, it's not because you do not have relevant points, it's just because you're shy. So tell them, I'm shy and sometimes I step back or I do not give my feedback or my suggestions when a topic is discussed. Now, when you always say your weakness, you always have to back it up by how you're trying to improve it. Okay, you have a weakness. It is common. Everybody has a weakness. but how are you trying to improve that weakness? That is what is going to catch their attention. Are you doing anything to overcome that? Yes, I have been trying to overcome my shyness by kindly raising my hand, so I grab the attention of the group so they know I have a suggestion to say. Another common weakness is procrastination. Yes, tell them that sometimes you tend to procrastinate things. You always get your work done. Make sure you emphasize on the fact that you have a problem and you are working towards that problem. Also, you're open to feedback on how to improve the situation. You can mention that you have, now say for example, now if you're a procrastinator, say that you have a schedule right now, you have a planner where you're planning things to make sure things don't get pushed away and they are done at the right time. If you want to improve on your vocabulary, say that you're reading books where you get a wider vocabulary, always share to them your improvement plans. That these are the plans that you have towards improving or coming out of that particular weakness. As I did mention, that is where you catch their attention. The interviewer knows that you not only have that weakness, but you're also working towards overcoming that. That is what is more important. Do not brag or lie, because it is very obvious you will be caught red-handed, and what is going to happen is you won't be selected for the job. It takes away that one opportunity of yours to be selected or be that one outstanding person. Summing up this session, always keep in mind what are your strengths and weakness. Make sure you stand out when that question is asked to you. Always be prepared on how you want to answer that. Analyze your strength, your weakness, frame it as a sentence and present it to the interviewer. Never lie, don't brag. Be as humble when you are explaining your strengths, and don't brag when you're explaining your weakness. I really hope that you have found this session beneficial. Do like and share it with all your friends so that they are also aware of how to present themselves at an interview. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also click the notification bell and do continue following me on Guide to Aviation. Bye-bye.